Smart couples choose destination weddings because they know it's the best way to have an unforgettable wedding without the outrageous cost. In this video, we're going to break down how to have that amazing destination wedding, but also make it affordable. We're going to list out the most affordable locations, so make sure you watch to the end so you can get the list. So here are the top 5 questions that we need to address if you want to have an affordable destination wedding. The first question that we have to ask is whether or not destination weddings can be affordable. I can't tell you how many times I've encountered couples who think that destination weddings are actually more expensive than a traditional wedding. That's not necessarily the case. It really is going to depend on when and where you have your wedding. If you decide to do an all-inclusive wedding in Mexico or in the Caribbean, then yes, your destination wedding is going to be affordable. The reason is because in Mexico and the Caribbean, you can choose an all-inclusive resort, which is going to give you these wedding packages that give you all of the bells and whistles at a fraction of the cost. So the second question we always get is who handles the logistics? And if you're planning a destination wedding, then you have to know that you're on the hook for everyone's travel plans. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go and book Uncle Joe's flight, but you have to stay on top of Uncle Joe to make sure that he has his passport, to make sure that he did book his flight. You need to gather that information and you need to organize it in some way. On top of that, with wedding logistics, you are also responsible for planning the actual wedding portion of your event. Now, most of these resorts, especially if you go with Mexico or the Caribbean, are going to have an on-site wedding planning team that exists to help you. So it's going to make the process a whole heck of a lot easier. But when you're combining all of the travel logistics plus all the wedding logistics, it can be a little overwhelming. That's why I'm always going to recommend that you work with a destination wedding travel agent, because they're going to help you by taking some of that burden of planning off your shoulders. But here's the trick. You can't just go with any travel agent. Not every travel agent can do a destination wedding. So you want to make sure that their specialty is destination weddings. You'll be glad you did. So the next question we get is always about the legal stuff. Are you responsible for the legal stuff? And before you even get to that, the first question that you have to ask is whether or not you want to have a legal wedding or a symbolic wedding. You can't really make any other legal decisions until you figure that part out. Now, I go into all the pros and cons of legal versus symbolic weddings in another video. You'll find the link underneath this one. Once you've decided on whether or not you want a legal or a symbolic wedding, then you want to contact the wedding team on location to help you figure out what the rules and regulations are in that country, because every country is going to be different. And obviously the most important question, and the question that is probably the most crucial one, what venue do you choose? We actually go into some of the details of this in other videos, so stay tuned for those. But for now, you have to really sit down and ask yourself, 1, how far do you really want to go? 2, how much is your final bottom line budget? And 3, how far are your guests going to go? Keep in mind, we're trying to do affordable destination weddings. And if you want to go affordable, the farther you go, the higher the budget. Your best bet is to work with countries or islands that offer those all-inclusive packages because they're close and they're affordable. When you're choosing your venue, you make sure that you go with one that fits your vibe, but more importantly, fits your budget. We actually have a list of our favorite 2024 resorts that we've worked with so far that have provided our clients with fantastic destination weddings. If you want a copy of it, you'll see the link for it below. So of course, now we've come to the most important question. Where are the most affordable locations? Let's start with Mexico. Hands down across the board. In my professional experience, I've seen the biggest bang for your buck in Mexico. You want to stick to Cancun, Riviera Maya, or even Los Cabos. because they're going to provide you with those key all-inclusive resorts and locations. The next place that offers amazing, affordable destination weddings is the Dominican Republic. They offer an amazing array of family-friendly resorts plus adults-only resorts. And they have a very good reputation with more direct flights from the United States. The 3 areas you want to look at is going to be Punta Cana, La Romana, or Puerto Plata. Those are going to be your more affordable destinations. And finally, if you want a little bit more of a real tropical islandy vibe, you're going to want to look at Jamaica. The 3 areas to focus on in Jamaica are going to be Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, and Negril. Again, we'll go into detail later with all those different countries and those different locations. Now, the final question is, when is the best time to have destination wedding? So remember this key point. There is a high travel season and a low travel season. You want to make sure that you go during off-peak or low travel season. The key thing to remember, off-peak usually coincides when the kids are in school. So think September, October, maybe even early April, early May, and that's going to give you more options. It's going to give you less crowds, and of course, it's going to make it more affordable. Now, if you want to know more about affordable destination weddings, I put the link to the full blog down below, or you can always just leave a message in the comments and we'll get to talking.